So Alpo25, he's been hitting the Apefather hard lately. It's like the movie Gladiator. He's like Maximus. he's been he's been really hitting me hard. I don't know why, because he knows I love my dogs. He's a big animal lover, and I really thought he liked me because I take care of my dogs. But man, this dude is hitting me hard. So he just asked me a question now today. He says, Tendy Time, I don't know if this is recent. I know Tendy Time in the past made this accusation, but he's saying to me that Tendy Time is saying, I got all my money from my father. None of this is true. Okay? None of this is true. There would be documentation of it. Like, don't you understand? You would see, like, that there would be things online. You know what I mean? Listen to me. All right, you want me to prove all of this to you? If you look up, and I'm actually going to give you the address, okay? 1513 Benson Avenue in Brooklyn, New York, okay? My father sold the house, I don't know, something like $1 million. I don't know the exact amount because honestly, he never really told me. I think it was like $1 million, okay? My father and my mom went through a lot of problems. I don't want to get personal. None of that money went to my mother. None of that money went to me. I don't want to really get personal. I didn't have the greatest childhood, but still, I respect my father. He's my father. May he rest in peace. Okay. My father spent hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars on himself. He took cruises around the world. He enjoyed his life to the fullest. And my parents are legally divorced. Okay. And in their divorce proceedings, my mother she actually didn't get any money. See, everyone's under this impression my mother got money from no, nope. In the divorce proceedings, and I'm being very personal now. I shouldn't be personal. Listen, you can ask all of my family. You can ask all of my family. My mother didn't get any money, and it was out of fear. They didn't have a very good marriage. That's it. I don't want to say anything bad. It was my father loved his grandchildren very much. It was my father's wishes to leave his remaining money of his estate to his grandchildren. That's it. That's bottom line. There is a trust set up for Michael and Sophia that when they turn 21 years of age, they will have access to those funds that my father left for them. This is all documented online. There were lawyers involved. This was approved by the probate courts of Florida. And I don't know what Tendy Time, listen to me. Look, Tendy Time is just kind of like, Lou. You know how Lou does the Walt Disney stories? And Lou says, I have secret connections, I'm turning down tens of millions of dollars from banks. I have 2 Teslas. I live in a penthouse. See, I like to call Lou the Walt Disney Lou. That's another one. I come up with different names for him all the time. Hashtag Walt Disney Lou. He just has none of the stories he's saying is true. But, people believed him. That's it. I guess what it was Tendy Time was struggling. He was struggling to get views. He was struggling to get subs. So he came up with this outrageous story that I stole my children's inheritance. And it's really crazy. Like, I should sue all of these people. You talk about suing, right? It's just like, you want to know what it is? I've never been a suer. Can I tell you something? My whole life, I could have actually been a multimillionaire. I used to have a friend of mine. I don't want to mention her name because, for privacy reasons. She's been suing people her whole life, her whole family. Even when she died, she recently died, this woman. She was a very good friend of my father. And they have a malpractice lawsuit. Like their whole life, listen to me. All of her kids, whether they got hit by a bus, they fell down a sewer hole, they ran into whatever. They slipped in the supermarket on some kind of juice on the floor. They've been suing people their whole life and they made a lot of money. And we used to always joke about it in my family, like this particular, family. They're like, my God, they don't have to work. They don't have to, all they do is sue. Now, me on the other hand, I'm not a suer. My father was a suer. He actually sued a few people. He one time sued Sleepy's, the bed company. Got $100,000. My father was a big man, a heavy set man like me, and basically the reason why he sued him because I guess of his weight. the bed was impacted all the way down. He fell off the bed. He hurt his back or something. Like everyone in the family laughed at my father. I laughed at him, and my mother laughed at him, and pretty much the whole family laughed at him. Saying, "You're not going to win this lawsuit." He came to the case. He had he was holding, what do you call, one of those things, the walkers. He had the walker, and he walked in. The judge felt so bad for him. He looked like my father looked like he was like a corpse. Like, it was terrible. He was like, it was just like $100,000. So I'm not really a suer. I should sue people, but you know what it is? I don't have to. I'm a very, maybe because I have like this like kind of bipolar thing going on. Like, I'm very up and down, up and down. Like, I don't have the mental capacity. I'm admitting it to you, or the patience. I don't have it to go through this whole vigorous process of suing. Like, see, that's why why I like making videos, is because it's something I could do very like repetitiously. I could keep doing it and doing it. It like fits my personality. I like instant gratification. You understand? That's what I like. You go to a restaurant, you instantly get food. Instantly. I'm instantly getting pleasure. You see what I'm trying to say? Lawsuits not instant. Like, I remember I only did one lawsuit in my life. It was with my ex-girlfriend before I was married to Jennifer. I was driving, and some guy passed a red light and crashed into us. And we got nothing. No, I don't know what I got, like 10 grand. I didn't get a lot of money. It was so funny because when we had to go through the court proceedings, we broke up. This was me and my ex-girlfriend. She hated me, right? I hated her because she turned out to be such a gold digger. I bought this girl like $65,000 worth of jewelry. Like, Richie loves Jackie, all this stuff. The girl kept the jewelry, didn't want to give it back to me. She's like, "Oh, those were gifts. Those were presents." I'm like, but what are you gonna do with them? You're just gonna sell it. You're gonna get like $60,000. I mean, can I at least have half of it? Can I at least have 30,000? She's like, "No, it was a gift." Like, whatever. Okay. So anyway, long story short, it was just such a vigorous. It took 2 years to settle this lawsuit, and I had to go to the doctors. They were like a physical therapist, like 3 days or 4 days a week for this. For 2 years, I had to do this to get like a lousy 10,000, of which the lawyer took his third. He took his cut. What did I get? I don't even know what I got. I don't know what I got. Maybe 6,000. I don't know, 7,000. I don't remember. This is years ago. But the point is, it's just not worth it. I mean, after millions, I guess maybe it's worth it, right? That's worth it. If if it was something serious, like if I fell down a sewer hole, like, or something like, that was really caused by like the city's fault, and I could make $1 million, $2 million, maybe I would go through the process. But it was just so much of an effort. I don't have patience. So here's the bottom line. Okay, getting back, I'm not a sewer. I worked in sales for over 20 years. I've been supporting myself since I was 13 years old. You don't understand. The Apefather used to do piano lessons, and I used to pay for my restaurants.